I welcome you all to this online YouTube class 10 English class. So once again I welcome you and I wish you good morning. This is the first class that you are attending. I hope you will enjoy the class and you will learn some of the things that I have brought for you all in this class. So this is the second class, as you have already attended the first class about, yes, what is it? That is preposition. So what is next here? So as you can see on the screen, I have written some of the words. So what are these? These are all prepositions, and we have already discussed somehow in the last class about preposition. So this is preposition part 2, and that was preposition part 1. We have discussed so many stories and sentences and all about what is preposition and how to identify the preposition, what are the different types of prepositions. Don't you remember all those? Okay, so let me remind you all once again what are the points that we discussed in the last class. So in last class we discussed that preposition is a type of word. As you know, in class 9 we have already discussed there are different types of words and we call them as word classes. What are they? Those are noun, pronoun, then comes adjective, then verb, adverb, then what is it? Conjunction and preposition. Preposition, conjunction and interjection. So these are the basic types of words that we use in this language English. So what is it? This preposition is one of those words. So what does it do? It simply tells us the position of something in relation to another thing. This is the work, but we have to know using different sentences. Before that we also learned in the last class there are different types of prepositions that you are going to identify in any sentence, story, paragraph, or maybe from your textbook chapter. So we can say there are single word prepositions as you can see in the table. So try to read it, recognize it, and try to remember whenever you will come across such words in any textbook, maybe in a sentence, in a paragraph, or in a text. You must be able to identify which are prepositions. So as you can see here, these are the single word prepositions, and next comes the multi-word. If we have 2, 3 words, then we call them as the multi-word prepositions. So number 1, single word preposition, then multi-word preposition, and finally comes the ing. Also there are some prepositions in which we have ing added. So we can say these as the prepositions with ing. So I think you all remember that we have already discussed. Next comes what does preposition do? So preposition, the work that is assigned. What does it do? It joins. So you can see here it remains in the middle of maybe from noun to noun, or noun to adjective, or noun with verb, noun with adverb, noun with WH clause. So this is the work that is assigned to our important type of word preposition. So preposition says, oh listen, I am preposition and I join noun with another noun, or a noun or pronoun with a adjective or verb or adverb or WH word. In this way it works in every sentence, in every paragraph, every text. You will surely find this word in every sentence, or we can say in every text. Next comes, there are some prepositions that deviates the rule that we discussed right now. So what does it say? It says, or it is used at the end of a sentence. So when, how and where? So when we have WH questions, what are you looking at? Here you can see at is the preposition that is used at the end, and there is no other word that we can use after at. And next comes related clauses. This is the book I have been looking for, or passives, I do not speak until I am spoken to. Infinitives, there is no chair to sit on. Or exclamation, what a difficult situation he is in. So these are some of the extra or we can say some deviations, some different types where it does not join any noun with another word. Next comes what is there, let us see. So here first we learn different types of prepositions. Now whatever prepositions that we have with us, we can group them into basic 3 types of prepositions. So one comes prepositions of place, and then comes prepositions of time, and next one is all other prepositions. So that day we discussed somehow about prepositions of place, time, and today what we are going to do? Yes, the first one comes first. So we will discuss about prepositions of place. You can write it, it is quite essential. Listen, for your portfolio activity also you can do it. It will work as one of your portfolio assignment. Just draw a table like this and write down using different colorful sketches, and that will look very beautiful, and you will remember also these words, that these are prepositions of place, these are prepositions of time, and here comes prepositions, means of travel and communication, instrument, modes of payment, etc. Okay, now I welcome you all to prepositions of place. So today's topic is prepositions of place that we are going to discuss. I have already said that this is a big chapter having so many subtopics. So today's topic is prepositions of place. So what are the words, what are the prepositions, specially today we are going to discuss. Let us see. So these are the 3 words or prepositions that we use for place that today we are going to discuss. Now what is the difference between at, in and on? So if you will go through these phrases, it will be very clear that at we use for a particular point. So at a point, at the door, at the crossroads, at the traffic light, or at is also used for top, bottom or end of. At the top of the stairs, at the bottom of the page, at the end of the street, or different activities like at a party, at a concert, at a cinema, or at school, university, at home, at work, or for shops, at a bakery, at a cafe, at a chemist. So these are specific, very specific. And next comes, generally let us discuss about on the table or on a carpet, on a roof, on a sofa, that comes on a surface. Then floor, on the first floor, on the 5th floor, then right or left, on the right, on the left, or public transport, on the bus, on the train, on the plane, or media, on the radio, on the TV, on the internet, on a website. Next comes in. In expresses a broader sense, a general sense. So in a bag, in the classroom, in a box, or in London, in Europe, and in the Alps, in the world, in a car, in a van, or in the seas, in the river, in the lake, in the swimming pool, in a book, in a picture, or in the newspaper. So these are the basic uses, and remember the examples that is given in your book, those are quite essential. Generally questions comes from that part, so never neglect that. Yes, I know you will do the activities or exercises that is given in your book, but mind it, the examples are very important. So I request to all my dear students, those who are watching it, don't forget to practice the examples in the grammar book from this chapter. So the examples, whatever you will find in your book, never forget to work out those exercises more than one time or twice or thrice, because questions generally comes from those examples. So here it is a very pictorial representation of the prepositions, and it indicates both time and place. So how these 3 prepositions, in, on, at, these 3 prepositions, how these are used for time and how these are used for place, and what is the basic difference, where to use in and where to use on and where to use at for time and for place, how it distinguished, how these are presented here. So, here in, as you can see here, in occupies a bigger area because it is used in a general sense, and if for a big area, or if we go to time, when the time is a long period of time, we use time, we use in, and if the place is a larger area or a bigger area, we use in. And next comes on. On is smaller than in but greater than at. But at, as you can see here the point, it indicates a very particular specific period of time. So, general, in general or in a bigger point of time, we use in. For a bigger period or for a bigger place, we use in, and on more specific or smaller, and at very particular, very specific to the point, or we can say the smallest. So, examples, if we will go for place, so in is used for countries, for cities, for neighborhood, for enclosed spaces, or as you know, we use I live in Bhubaneswar. So, in is used for a place. Then if this place is somehow specific for streets, avenues, surfaces, means of transport, for communications, we use on. And finally, when the address is given particular address, so we have to use at. So, at a specific location or at we use for a specific address. And about in, about time, we will discuss it later, but still then let us have a look. So, for time, in is used for years, for months, for decades, for weeks, for seasons, for all these longer period of time, we use in. For time, I am talking about now time. And on. On generally just remember for day. So, if you have day at the end, we can use on. Sunday, Monday, Independence Day, or for some specific days, birth dates, or any date, day or date. Here comes month, year, week and seasons, and here comes on. On we use for day and date. And next comes at. Where to use at? At we have to use for a specific or for a particular time. At 7 o'clock, at midnight, at noon, at 9 o'clock. So, here you can see for hours, for parts of a day, for time, for holidays without day. These are some specific uses. So, remember how to use these three prepositions in, on, at, and what are the specific distinctions between these three or among these three, how to use it in a better way. The same preposition can be used for time, and also for place. So, try to remember and use it properly so that you will get good marks in your exam. Hope you understand what I am saying and you will do accordingly. Another thing, you can do it as a subject enrichment activity. So, this is a very beautiful triangle, you will do it and you will place whatever is written. If you really want to do it, then you can pause the video here and do this particular triangle and color it, write it in different colorful sketches and write down whatever is given in your book. That will also help you a lot, and outside also you can do, and it is also another activity you can use, and it is also very interesting, and you will learn that these are the particular prepositions that we use for place. Then next, prepositions at. Where to use preposition at? As we have already discussed, at is a preposition which is used for a specific place. So, now here these are I have extracted from your book. So, go through the book and you will find these lines. So, it is used to show the exact point. You just mark what is written. So, at is used for exact point. At is used for exact point. So, you can see here at. It is used to show the exact point of a house, station, village, but mark here it shows the exact point. So at is very specific. Then in a sentence we can say she is standing, yes, she is standing at the corner of the street or at the door or at the bus stop. Wherever maybe she is standing, but the place is very specific and there will be no doubt where she is standing. So that means it is very specific. Then comes he is at school and at work or at the table. So 3 particular prepositions we are going to discuss in this class. Number 1 is at, and next let us see what other prepositions. Generally I have shown you the 3 at, on, in. What is the speciality, where to use, how to use. So in, where we use in is used for being within a larger area. So we use in for a larger area. When we want to indicate a larger space, larger area, we use in. For example, he lives in. So he lives in London. So as you can see here how in is used in London or Cuttack or any particular place you can mention. Then my brother works in a bank, in an office, in a shop or in a factory. So when the place is a larger area we use in, but when the place is a specific area we use at. Remember the distinction, where to use at and where to use in. The more you use, the more you learn. The more you do the activities, the more you will be clear, perfect and do the activities or questions that will come in your exam. And the last one is on. Now it has 3 particular uses that is given in your book. So one is if the workplace is not a building. So if the workplace is not a building, then we use on. So he is working on a farm. He is working on a farm. Then on the express, on to express touching. So he is standing on the balcony. So when the meaning is touching, then if the meaning is closed to, then Haridwar is on the Gangas. So these are the 3 basic uses for on. But remember, if the place is very specific, very particular and address, use at, and if the place is a bigger area or part of a larger area, then use on, and if these 3 criteria you will find, then use on. Now let us do the activities. So fill in the blanks. It is your work, you will read it and do it on your own. I am not going to help you at any cost. Try to use your mind, whatever we have discussed. So what are the things that we discussed? At, on, in. At is very specific and on greater than that but lesser than in, but in indicates a larger area. Now let us see what it says. The young men are swimming dash the sea. So you just mark here dash the sea. See, it is a larger area or smaller area, you decide on your own, then use in. So fill in the blanks with appropriate prepositions. So which preposition you are going to use here? The young men are swimming dash the sea. So are you going to use it or I will? So going to the young men are swimming in the sea. There is a label dash the medicine bottle. So medicine bottle you have, then so what to use? In, on and at. So it is on the bottle, on. So try to use your mind and try to read whatever is written in your book and try to do accordingly. Next, there is a TV set dash the corner of the room. There is a TV set. So if there is a TV set dash the corner of the room, so what will you say? Just go through the book, read the examples and then you can see. Then the London is dash the Thames. The same example we have already discussed. The London is dash the Thames. The John was brought up dash a farm. The same example we have already done, but at the age of 60, But at the age of 60, he then comes, he was sent to work as a shop. So, which are correct? You just try to do it on your own. Try to do it on your own. Yes. So, here are the answers as you can see here, and I request all my dear students right now, just now bring your book, bring your copy. If you have not brought it, then I request all of you quickly start writing. So, preposition chapter you have to practice, practice and practice. There is no specific rule, there is no specific point that will help you, only practice. And another request I also want to do, write down all the examples in a copy, in your grammar copy, start giving number 1 and do all the examples, whatever is given. So, as you can see here, this is the book. So, you will find so many examples here. Here you will find so many examples. So, my request, write down all the examples and underline the prepositions and write down all the examples and then do the activities, because most of the times the questions that comes from those examples, the young men are swimming in the sea, there is a label on the medicine bottle, there is a TV set in the corner of the room, London is on the Thames, John was brought up on a farm, but at the age of 60 he was sent to work in a shop. The next few questions, again try to read it and find out whichever is correct. So, most of the clues given in your book, only one work that you have to do, read the book, once again I am saying read the book. When we visited Hyderabad, we stayed just a hotel. So, it talks about a particular place, particular address or particular hotel. So, which preposition is appropriate here? Which preposition? If the place is very specific, very particular address is given, then which one you have to use? Here preposition is at, no doubt. If the place address is given clearly, then use at. I would prefer to work dash a factory. I would prefer to work dash a factory. Already factory also given in your book. So, in a factory. He told me that he lived dash 25 Ashok Nagar, Bhubaneswar. So, again the specific address is given, that this man, he told me that he lived. Where he lived? Here. But so, this one is the address. So, as address is given, so if the address is given, then what to use? As we have already used here, so again use at. Then my father is employed as a cashier dash the local branch of Allahabad Bank. So, where my father is working? It's your turn to say. I have already said 3. Now, you use your brain, use your mind and try to do it. Then, he was dash me at school. He was, this is somehow different. You have to use your mind and just say me what will it be. So, this sentence comes from below, under, above and over. There are 4 somehow confusing. One is over, under, another is below and above. So, out of 4 you have to use a preposition here. So, he was dash me at school. So, which one is here? Clue is given suggesting a lower than. So, lower than means when we compare, we have to use above or below. So, if higher than, then above, in lower than, then below. So, here answer is below, and we have so many other adjectives are there in a place, prepositions of place, that we will discuss in the next class. I want you all to write down all these, go slowly and learn whatever is written in your book. Before going to the activities, examples, you have to read it and write it. And once again, I would like to remind what are the things, what are the points that we discussed. Number 1 is what is preposition, and preposition is a type of word. It is nothing. It is a word, but remember, it has no specific meaning. You can't say that at its meaning is this, or in its meaning is this. No, there is no specific meaning of these words. Only what we have to do, we have to learn its uses, where to use it correctly and where it is incorrectly used. We have to identify. So how you will know it? If you will read more and more stories, more and more English textbook, then automatically the flow will come and you will understand where to use which preposition. That will help you. Only by learning the grammar it will not help. If you want to, then go to your textbook and try to find out the adjective. Then I distinguish which one is place adjective, which one is time adjective, and which are the other adjectives that has been used in your textbook or in your story. So one request, go to your textbook, maybe first one A Letter to God or at the high school, and see how these prepositions are used. And listen, we all are using these prepositions every time, all the time, unknowingly. But when it comes to our grammar portion, we feel very much, it becomes difficult for us to identify which one to use. So in the next class we will do all other all other prepositions related to this place, as it is a big chapter. So we are taking so many classes so that it will be easier for you to understand. So whatever we learnt today, how to use at, on and in. If the time or if the place is very specific, use which one? Tell me loudly. If the place or time is very specific, which preposition you are going to use? At, on or in? Which one? On, no, in, no. It is at. If the time is specific, if the place is specific, use at. And if the place it indicates to a larger area, to a bigger area, to a place of a big, then use in. And on and about time we discussed, if the time indicates to a week, a month, a season, a year, use in. And then if it talks about a day or date, then use on. Very easy to remember. If it indicates to date or day, use on. And finally, if it indicates to a very specific at noon, at midnight, at sunset, sunrise, or at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, use at. Okay. So these are the questions. As you can see here, I have already written for you. I hope you will write all these in your copy and you will remember and go through these sentences and write down any story, find out from anywhere small stories and try to see how these prepositions are used. So we will do all other in the next class. So your future is created by what you do today. What will be your future? That will be decided by the action that you are taking today. If you will work hard today, then your future will be bright, no doubt. And if you will not work hard, then no. I know that you all are very good and you all are very dear and you all are very hard working. So I hope you will do all these activities and you will be able to find out whatever prepositions that are used in your book, in your examples, in your activities, in your chapters. So with this hope, let us once again repeat whatever we have learnt from this. So again I want you all to start from the beginning. So what are the things that we learnt about prepositions? So there are three types of prepositions. Number one, single word preposition. Okay, remember these are and for you class 10 students, these are the most important. We are not going to use generally. generally we use this single word preposition. Most of the times, yes, sometimes we use this, but most of the times we use single word preposition, and this ing very rarely we use, but you should remember what is the work of preposition. It joins. And next, what other thing that you have to remember, let us see. So besides this, what we learnt? We learnt where what are the different classifications, means prepositions of place, prepositions of time, and prepositions means all other prepositions also we remembered. And here we learnt how these prepositions used, these three prepositions, how these are used, and then we learnt. Okay, so with this, let us wind up this class here. I hope you all are very much interested to do the activities, and it will help you a lot. So with this, let us wind